Welcome here to the course of web designing. In this video, I will cover the attributes of input elements introduced by HTML5. The attributes which I want to cover in this lecture are autocomplete, autofocus, form, height and width, last, multiple, min and max, placeholder, required and pattern. So let's start with autocomplete first. The autocomplete attribute has two possible values, that is on and off. If autocomplete attribute is on, then the browser automatically complete value based on value that the user has entered before. You can apply the autocomplete attribute at form level or apply it for a specific field. Look at these codes. These codes show that how to apply the autocomplete attribute. In this example, at the form level, the value of autocomplete attribute is on. Now look at these three elements of the form. For the second element, the autocomplete attribute is off. So the question arises, which one has precedence? So the one which applied for the input element has precedence. So autofocus is the next attribute. The autofocus attribute is a Boolean attribute. When present, it specifies that an input element should automatically get focus when the page loads. Look at these codes. These are the starting and closing elements of the form, and this one is the first element of the form, and this is the second one, and this is the third element of the form. In this code, the first element of the form has autofocus attribute. So this element will get focus automatically when the page loads. Now to explain the form attribute. Normally we define all form controls within the form element, but it is also possible to define a form control outside of the form element and then use the form attribute to associate it with a form. It is also possible to associate a control with more than one form. Now look at these codes. So these are the opening and closing tag of the form, where the ID of the form is form1, and this is the first element of the form, while this one is the second element of the form, and this is another element defined outside of the form, and name of this element is last name, but the value of its form attribute is form1, where form1 is the ID of the above defined form. Therefore, this element is the part of the above defined form. When the form is to be submitted, the value of this element defined outside of the form element will also be submitted to the server. It is also possible to associate a control to more than one form. Use a space-separated list of form IDs to associate an element to more than one form. The height and width attribute are used to set the height and width of the element. These attributes are used with input of type image. Look at these codes. It shows how to use the width and height attribute. The list attribute. The list attribute is used to associate a predefined list of options, that is, data list, with an input element or control. The value of the list attribute must be the ID of the data list that we want to associate with an input element. Consider this data list. Here the ID of the data list is bname, that is browser names, and we want to associate this data list with an input element. So look at these codes. Here the input element of type text and the name of this control is select browser, where the list attribute of this control has the value bname and it is the ID of the above mentioned data list, so it will link the above data list with this input element. Now to implement it practically for better understanding. I have already created this page. It consists of an HTML form. So first of all, I will show you the output of these codes, and after that I will create a data list, and then to attach that data list with an input element of the form. So let's first check the output of this code. So type here localhost, lecture number 10. So this is the output of this code. Here one of the field is to select browser. So I want to create a data list and attach it with this field. So let's to start creating the data list. So type data list, and let the ID of the data list is ID equal to bname. Bname means that is data browser name. Now create the first option, value, enter Net Explorer. Second option, value, Firefox. Third option, value, Microsoft Edge. Fourth option, value equal to Chrome. So these four options are enough as an example. Now come to this field, select browser and put type text, name browser. So add the last property and set its value to browser name. Now save the file and come to the browser and refresh it. Now see, check this field. The 4 options are available here for the user to select his favorite browser name. So let's select Microsoft Edge. The multiple attribute. The multiple attribute, which is a Boolean attribute, allow a user to enter more than one value for an input element. The multiple attribute works with email and file input types. Look at this code. Here the input type is file and the multiple attribute is also defined. So this input element allow to select one or more file as a input. The main and max attribute. These attributes specify the lower and upper bound for the value that the input element is ready to accept. These attributes work with following input types, that is number, range, date local, month, week and time. The placeholder attribute represent a shorthand and tend to help the user with data entry. A hint could be a sample value or a brief description of the expected format. Once the field receives focus and you begin to type, the placeholder text simply disappears. The placeholder attribute applicable to input of type text, search, URL, tell, email and password. The following code show how to apply the placeholder attribute. Here the value of placeholder attribute is first name. So this first name will appear as a placeholder text within this field and disappear when user start typing. Now to study the required attribute. The required attribute is a Boolean attribute. By adding it to a field, the user must enter value for that field before submitting the form. The required attribute works with input type includes text, search, URL, tell, email, password, date packer, number, checkbox, radio button and file. This segment of code show how to add required attribute to an input field. Now to apply the required and placeholder attribute practically. So this is the form which I have already created, and now I want to apply the placeholder and required attribute on the first two fields. So let's start to add these two attributes. So I come to the first name and add the placeholder attribute. Placeholder, that its value is, enter first name and also add the required attribute. Now come to the last name and apply the placeholder attribute, that's its value is enter last name. Also add the required attribute and now save the file, come to the browser and refresh it. Now see the placeholder text appear in both of these two fields. As soon as the users start entering in this field, the text will disappear. So let's enter data in the first field. So write here Ahmed. The second field where the enter last name, it is also the required field. So let's suppose we don't want to add any value at this time and we try to submit the form. As soon as I press the submit button, it will display a message here, please fill this field, please fill out this field. You see this message, it appears due to the required attributes. It means that user must enter value for this field. So we have added the placeholder and the text attribute to this field. Now let's study the pattern attribute. The pattern attribute, it is used to specify a regular expression that the input element's value is checked against. The pattern attribute is applicable to input of types text, search, URL, tel, email and password. Pattern makes it easy for you to implement specific validation. Look at this code, it shows how to implement the pattern attribute. The name of this control is product, while the its type is text. So the pattern attributes define that the product name must be 4 characters. The first character must be a digit followed by 3 uppercase letters. So a number of examples about these attributes of input elements are available on W3 School. So you can give a look on these examples. Thanks for watching this video.